Discussion keeps the world turning.
This is Roundtable.
You're listening to Roundtable with myself, Heyang. I'm joined by Steve Hatherly and Yushan in the studio. Coming up, your voice matters. It would be great to hear it in our heart-to-heart segment. Got a question, something you're itching to share? Fire up that voice memo and hit us up at roundtablepodcast@qq.com. And what if learning how to fix your own stuff could change the game for solo living? Women are leveling up with viral DIY content, learning everything from car care to home repairs. This trend isn't just about skills, it's about freedom. Want to know why it's going viral and how it's changing the way we think about independence? Well, we'll talk. Our podcast listeners can find us at Roundtable China on Apple Podcast. Now, let's have a moment of heart to heart.
You ask.
We answer.
Roundtable. Heart to heart.
Today, we've got a few voice memos and messages to share with you. And let's start off with Danielle.
Hello, Roundtable. This is Daniel from Iran. I've been a listener of Roundtable for about 8 months now, and I just wanted to share how much I enjoy and appreciate the work you do. And first, I discovered your program while I was in my car, waiting for my phone to be repaired for a battery change. I was just flipping through different radio channels when I stumbled upon your show, and immediately caught my attention. Later, I started following it on Spotify. What I love most about Roundtable is that how you bring the pulse of life in modern China to your audience. The way you explore the fascinating themes, dive into internet trends, lifestyle shifts, and cultural exchanges makes every episode a captivating journey. Your podcast has deepened my understanding and appreciation for China even more. I especially love when you incorporate Chinese words and cultural insight into your discussion. It's not only interesting, it's also inspiring for me. It even motivated me to learn more about the culture and the language. Your podcast has become part of my daily routine. I always listen to it when I'm at the gym. Seeing an unplayed Roundtable episode genuinely just makes me motivated to go work out even. I feel like it's a little reward that keeping me on track. Your conversation feels like a golden ticket into a vibrant and dynamic culture, and I truly appreciate all the effort you put into making each episode so engaging and insightful. It's incredible how much the discussion just resonated with me and inspired me to think more about new topics and perspective. Thank you so much for making every episode so special, and I'm excited to keep following your show for the long time to come.
Thank you so much, Danielle from Iran. And it means so much to hear that our show inspired you all the way in Iran. It's amazing to think that our words can reach across the globe and touch hearts like yours. I really appreciate you sending this voice memo to us.
And you listen to us at the gym. Okay, Daniel, I'm going to be your personal trainer for 5 seconds. And this is, Daniel, this is when you're doing that last one heavy lift. Okay, ready? Here we go. Come on, Daniel. Push it. Come on. Good. Ah, good job. All right. There you go. There you got a 5-second Canadian personal trainer living in Beijing for you in Iran. See, the world is getting smaller, isn't it?
Yeah, and I wasn't expected to hear that Danielle actually shared that from listening to Roundtable, he's got more interested in getting to know about China, the culture here, and also the language. I mean, we're not really takeaway Chinese. That's another channel. But in the meantime, I'm just really glad that we, in that realm, have this kind of positive influence to invite you to learn more about how people are living here and even how to speak Chinese.
Not to toot our horn too much, but there's something very special about Roundtable that is, well, we talk about news stories, we offer in-depth discussion, and we are very special in the sense that our own personalities shine through, and not all programs allow that. And I don't think you necessarily feel that much of the, let's say, news anchor's personality, for example. And then I think on our show, we have that space to give our own 2 cents in a way. And I just love it when personality can matter a bit. And I think that is what makes one thing special, anything special.
Yeah, I mean, we get to kind of share our opinions on things from time to time, and not all media announcers have the opportunity to do that. So we're lucky to be able to do that.
I think so. I see that as a privilege. And we have a few emails and comments, messages from various platforms. Let's go through some of them. First of all, second of all, big shout out to Kitty. Remember in the last Heart to Heart segment of 2024, which that show aired on December 31st, Kitty was feeling very distressed about her postgraduate exam results and was bogged down by the sense of regret. Well, after that show aired, she's reached out to me on Weibo and wrote me such a long, long letter. And she's saying that she found strength and hope in our words. And now she's feeling more positive and ready to turn the page and embrace a fresh start in 2025. And I'm so glad to hear from you, Kitty, and keep us updated with everything.
Yeah, let us know what your next big project is. And that's great that you shared with us. Thank you for doing that again. And it's great that you're feeling a little bit better now.
Yeah, it's like we're going through things together and we're growing together as well.
I like that so much. And big thanks to DVBR0980, Mai Li Zhong, and all of you who sent such kind words for the last show of 2024 on 小宇宙. I'm really touched that my words could offer you some comfort, and I don't know if you're like me, but when everyone else is out there celebrating, sometimes that's when I feel the most alone. And I want to take this moment to acknowledge those of you who might feel not have a lot to celebrate, especially, at the turn of the new year, or Chinese New Year, that's coming up, and with all those people around you who are willing to ask you about, give us an update on your relationship status, your career status, and did you get a raise or whatnot? I mean, having a job is something that people are thankful a lot of the times. Anyhow, so for all of you who might not feel like you have a lot to celebrate or might not feel like you're entitled to, I see you and I'm here with you. And I just want to say that. All right, we still have more voice memos coming up. This one is from Sherry from Sichuan.
Hey, Roundtable China, my dear host, I'm Sherry from Sichuan province. You know what? I listened to your special show on the first day of 2025, and I gotta say, I was so inspired by all kinds of experiences and responses shared by incredible listeners and you guys as well. I genuinely feel happy for those of you who made amazing achievements and progress in 2024. And when I look back on my 2024, honestly speaking, I spent the whole year in a quite mediocre and mundane way without having too many accomplishments, whether in academics or career. And I believe I'm not the only person. Maybe living in the moment is the best state of mind. So please don't say, I've wasted the whole year, or, I've wasted so much time. As long as we are physically and mentally healthy, self-consistent, self-love, then it was a fulfilling year. So dear folks, especially young people, let's stop being too hard on ourselves and being too anxious about the upcoming year. As a Chinese saying goes, 留得青山在，不怕没柴烧. As long as we are happy and healthy, anything is possible in the future. Bye-bye.
Oh, I love that upbeat spirit of Sherry. And we have Kathy from Beibei sending us another voice memo.
Hello, Heyang, and all of Roundtable. This is Kathy here. News flash again. I'm already an 8th grader. We're still in the first week of 2025, so I've already decided to get some motivation and give some motivation by sharing how my 2024 went, plus my hopes and goals for the new year. One of the first things I'd like to share with you guys are the new musicals I watched in 2024. Is Wicked. The movie adaptation of this musical just came out in November last year, and I went to see it with my friends. I'm so surprised not many people are in the movie theaters. It's such a great movie. The story serves as a prequel to The Wonderful Wizard of Oz and/or its film adaptation. Through the musical of Wicked, we can learn that people aren't only kind or bad. Trust your instincts, choose kind, and stick to being yourself when others say you're wicked, especially when others say you're wicked. A lot of people around me constantly complain what they didn't do well in 2024, how they weren't self-motivated enough, etc. Of course, there are a lot of unfinished goals and plans for me as well. I often forget or simply have no time, even though I think that's still an excuse, to update my educational video channel months at a time. This is why one of my New Year resolutions is to stay active making videos. People always complain that New Year resolutions, they don't work, but I beg to differ. As long as you're like a J person in the MBTI, or you're self-motivated enough, then you can still keep your goals. So, for 2025, I hope that everyone can achieve their biggest dreams and get happiness by helping others around you. Looking forward to having a better 2025 with a better everyone, and best wishes to the Roundtable team. Bye, and Kathy out.
Daniel in Iran, I want you to fire me as your personal trainer and hire Kathy. I think she could do a much better job motivating you. What a breath of fresh air that energy is. Nice to hear from Kathy. We hear from her from time to time.
Yes. Now, I'd say a year is not complete without Kathy sending us a voice memo like that, with so much energy. Thank you, Kathy. And she's really the youngest of our listeners, and I can't believe it's been a few years, but now, Kathy, you're a junior high student. Congratulations. Yes, guys, what do you have to say to our lovely listeners?
Yeah, Sherry, we heard from Sherry, right, before Kathy. Sherry, your voice is like a spoonful of sugar. I think you should host your own podcast if that interests you. And I think you're right, Sherry. Don't be too hard on yourself if you didn't maybe do anything so amazing or spectacular in 2024. So what? As long as you're still feeling good about yourself and as long as you're still, you have some goals in front of you that you can try to achieve, albeit those goals quite small, that's good enough. Life doesn't have to be one grand achievement followed by another grand achievement. Sometimes they come, sometimes they don't. And thank you for sharing with us today.
Exactly. And I think, Sherry, the term mediocre is kind of... it's hard to decide based on the nuance. And a lot of the times we often tend to be the person who give ourselves a lot of so-called mediocre comments. But just so that, like Sherry shared earlier, like a lot of the times by surviving this whole year, going through one stop after the other, experiencing everything along the way and growing and learning from it, it's already a very massive achievement by itself.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Sherry said, I hope everybody listened to that. And for Kathy has become my very brand new radio inspiration these days. I know we're here talking to the audience, but for me, she is my new radio inspiration now because gosh, that voice, that's full of energy. I can really borrow some of your radio character and your energy right there, Kathy. You're doing a very great job.
Yes, every time when I think of her, I just can't stop laughing in a really good way.
Yeah.
So, and thank you for keeping us updated with your growth and what's going on in your life. And I want to say that to all of our listeners. We love hearing from you, and we're appreciate your thoughts. If you enjoy what you hear or have a question or topic you'd like us to dive into, don't hesitate to reach out. Just shoot us an email or voice memo at roundtablepodcast@qq.com. We can't wait to hear from you. Coming up, DIY is the new flex. From home repairs to car maintenance, women are empowering themselves by learning practical skills by, in true 21st century fashion, short video tutorials. One less reason to need a man? Well, let's find out why this trend is blowing up.
Looking for passion? How about fiery debate? Want to hear about current events in China from different perspectives? Then tune in to Roundtable, where East meets West and understanding is the goal.
You're listening to Roundtable with myself, Heyang. I'm joined by Steve Hatherly and Yushan. All right, let's talk about a major trend that's shaking up the internet. Women everywhere are proving that you don't need to wait for a repairman or a boyfriend to handle the basics. Whether it's fixing a leaky faucet, changing a front door lock, or adding windshield washer fluid to your car, tutorial videos are helping everyone. Learn these DIY or do-it-yourself skills. This content is empowering women and, shall I say, men to become more self-sufficient. And it's seriously going viral. So review these viral DIY videos with the hashtag independent women.
I mean, these all started when one of the videos from this online influencer called 独立女生小课堂 or Independent Girls Classrooms. So one of her videos got really popular online, which was a step-by-step guide on how to add windshield washer fluid to your car. And this video garnered over 82 million views plus 135,000 likes and 30,000 saves as well. So I actually followed this influencer on the Red, and one of her videos that's my personal favorite, guess what it is? It's actually how to kill cockroaches without touching them. It's a must for people like me who's so terrified of bugs but need to get rid of those bugs.
How do you do it?
I mean, there's two scenarios according to her. This girl, I think her IP is from Sichuan province. She's doing a very thorough, very direct, step-by-step guidance for two scenarios. So first of all, for those bigger ones that's on your window, that's on your curtain, or on the ceiling, you need to prepare two things. One is a broom.
A broom?
A broom, a long stick broom. And the other one is a transparent umbrella. Because those bigger ones, they can fly at you.
Oof.
So the umbrella, once turned fully open, it's a transparent shield. while the broom is your sword. Okay? You fight like a warrior to pat that bug onto the floor and then proceed on with the second step, which is also something to fit into the second scenario she provided, which is how to trap it inside a bucket or a box or whatever with, the bug killing powder put on the floor surrounding the bug, and also very detailed procedures afterwards. I love that.
There you go. These content creators, they're on a bunch of different sites, right? It's not limited to one particular site. There's content all over the place. I think you talked about this in the opening earlier, Heyang. Household repair guides, personal development topics like confidence building and independence. How to kill cockroaches and how to feel better. You can watch those videos all in the same day, and I think it's quite obvious to me why these are so popular. You could argue that it's about a traditional narrative of women changing within the country, and I'm sure that that's very, very true. But for me, when I watch those types of videos, I just find them empowering in a sense because they allow me to do something by myself that I might not have been able to do before. So there's a plethora of reasons as to why these types of videos are popular. But how did you feel after you learned how to kill the cockroaches? Did you feel like your knowledge improved a little bit?
Exactly. I used to spend, I was telling Heyang earlier, I used to spend like half an hour just staring at the bug, both freezing me and the bug. But now at least I have a tactic in mind that I can borrow from. But in the meantime, I think it kind of also points out to the fact that there's such a market out there of young people living by themselves. I think both for female and for male as well, that they choose to live alone, but in the meantime, they don't necessarily have all the knowledge or all the tactics or the tips
100%
on how to live on themselves.
We're talking about women here in China in this story. I'm a Canadian man. I didn't grow up, with dad teaching me, like, this is how you change the oil in the car. I have no idea how to do that, but I'm married now, and sometimes my wife asks me, hey, Steve, can you, fix this thing in the bathroom or the sink or something? So this is what I do. I secretly go outside or into the room and watch a YouTube video on how to do it. And then I come back out and I'm like, oh, yeah, no, that's cool. I can do that. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. I can do that. And then in a really deep voice. Then I kind of do it. These videos are useful for everyone. And again, there are videos for every single little tiny thing, even, filling your car with washer fluid or how to fix a sink or how to kill a bug on your wall. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Despite the fact that these tutorials or videos have gone viral, usually sharing that hashtag of women independence, girls rise up, or whatever it is. But actually, I agree with you. This might not have all that much to do with gender. And it's really funny when we're having this pitch meeting in the office. And, when we talked about the gender angle originally, one man on the team was like, of course, I know how to do all of these things. And I'm a man, so I know how to do it. And I was like, sure. You're born in the 1990s, okay, and we all go through the same kind of education, boy and girl, in this country. So your mom and dad probably raised you in a similar mindset, that is, just take care of your studies and mom and dad will take care of everything else. And that's pretty typical in a Chinese family. So our upbringings are pretty similar. And that means when we start renting our first apartment in a new city, when you settle down for work, none of us know that much in how to cook, how to sew, how to change the car washing liquid, whatever. So we're on an equal footing. We're useless, men and women in this department.
It's true.
So let's not throw shade at each other. And I was like, how did you know how to do all these things? And he was like, yeah, I watched an online video.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah. So it's really funny that this has become a thing, though. Do you think?
Of course, but in the meantime, I also feel that, like you mentioned, Heyang, everybody's got the same questions in face of day-to-day practical skill acquirement. But in the meantime, we're talking about this as independent women. And here, all the names of these influencers, the Independent Girls Classroom, Women's Independence Plan, Girls Independence Plan, these are all targeting the keywords on the female side. So we say that these videos, they're trying to encourage solo living, say, females to learn about tricks and life hacking tips. But in the meantime, just the very fact that it's named under independent women or fallen into that female category is by itself kind of like a labeling of sorts.
Does that mean that you don't like it?
I mean, I feel complicated about it, but if you search for it, there's such a keyword that make the searching easier, then yeah, I agree with it.
Yeah, YouTube, for example, we're not talking about YouTube today, but just to use it as an example, 51.4% of YouTube users in America are women, and therefore, from a business point of view, companies are familiar with that statistic, right? And they're also familiar with the passion that younger women have these days for empowerment. And YouTube CEO, her name is Susan Wojcicki, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I don't think I am. She said that women aged 18 to 34 are twice as likely to think highly of a brand that makes them feel empowered through an ad. And there's an example given. Amazon had a Woman's World ad for Mother's Day in 2022, and it was a powerful and empowering tribute to the women who work at the company's all-female delivery stations. Anyway, from a business point of view, here's why that's important. When that age group, that demographic, felt that empowerment from an advertisement, they were nearly 80% more likely to like or share or comment or subscribe. So I understand why you might think, is it really necessary that we label it like this? But from a business point of view, they love that label because it allows them to know how to advertise effectively to that group.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings for that too. I think the business side, sure, great. I mean, it'd be great. Some people are making money out of this, but on the other hand, I just fear that it might be reinforcing the gender roles or some kind of gender stereotype, but that might be, the second step after, a thing like this blows up.
If we get to a time in the future when we don't need to, celebrate something that doesn't feel like it needs to be celebrated, I think that's what you're trying to say. I look forward to that day as well. But it's nice to see these DIY influencers doing really well with their channels, though.
Yeah,
right.
And I do believe that it's going to continue as well.
Right. I'm not sure empowerment is the end goal. I think for a lot of us, we really don't know how to do this. And a short video can teach us. In a matter of a few minutes, we know how to do this now. And that makes us feel empowered and maybe a sense of freedom as well, because being in control is power. And that brings us to the end of today's show. Thank you so much, Steve Hatherly and Yushan, for joining the discussion.
Thank you.
And it's great to have you here, Yushan. And I'm Heyang. You can always find the show on Apple Podcast at Round Table China. That's it for today. We'll see you next time.